Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Thursday, October the 6th. And I need to say from the outset, I don't know what the wave count is. There's a couple of options and I just need to work through them. Sometimes I know and sometimes I don't, and I don't at the moment. So the first option is that the one that we've been following, so we'll work with that, which is down for 1 and 2 and 3 here, and ABC for wave 4 here, and then coming down for wave 5 into this move here. Now, the problem with this particular move is that in the Asian indices and the European indices and in some of the US banks and some of the other US stocks, this wave 4 here has overlapped wave 1. So that's a little bit of an issue, and that throws a bit of a spanner in the works. So we need to also look at other ideas as well. One of the ideas is that this wave 5 here is already in place here, and we can look at this wave 1 being in place, and this move up here from the low is in 5 waves, so we can look at that as an A wave, and then coming back for a B wave and up for a C wave to the 50-60% retracement level, yada yada yada. So that's a possibility. There's also the possibility that this is 1 and 2 here, and then also a smaller wave 1 here and back for a smaller wave 2 at this point. That's possible as well. So they're the basic sort of counts. The other count that's a little bit left field, and we've had this before, and I think it's worth just mentioning again, because the move down here can really be viewed as 3 waves at this point. So we could put the B wave here, we could put the C wave over here, and this larger B wave over here. Now that wouldn't make sense in a lot of the markets. Some of the weak, obviously some markets are really, really weak, like the communications sector. I mean, it's just, fantastic, it's just, well, bearish. And then you get the sort of opposite to that, which is the healthcare sector, where you bring the healthcare sector across and it's much more stable. So in this case, it looks like a nice A, B, C down to here. So I could put the wave B over here for that, and then put wave C over here. That wouldn't be a far stretch on this case, but it wouldn't be the count for the overall market as such, so the A wave here, the B wave here, the A, the B and the C wave here. So that's sort of possible at that point too. So we need to take these sorts of things into consideration. But to kind of get the consensus for most of the markets, then I guess the takeaway is that the markets are still in a bearish pattern. I don't see them making new highs coming off this low here, and we can use this chart as an example because it's quite clear that this is in 3 waves here. So that means at some point in the future this low would need to be breached, and it's not breached yet. And there's other markets like this, such as the Bank of America. Morgans have taken the low out, but BAC hasn't. Amazon is another one that hasn't taken that low out here and has got a corrective pattern above here, so it needs to come down as well. So I know that the markets need to come down. I know that they're in a rally, but what is the rally? Do we tighten everything up and just put a 1-2 in here, for example? Is that the go? I mean, I can't look at this as down for 1, 2, 3, 4 here because it's overlapped, isn't it? Do we look for a more of a complex sort of pattern that's going to come into play here as a WXY type of thing and then come down? So there's a few things that we need to work through with all of these. I mean, some of the markets look quite sort of good, really. As the industrial thing here, we can look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 here and come down. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's nice. That's a nice set of legs at that point. But we still need to sort of understand this particular rally, whichever way we want to look at this. So some markets are different than others with all of, there's a whole variety of things going on, of course. So we need to put all the ideas on the table, and then we need to sieve through them. And one of the things in sieving through things is that when a pattern emerges and begins, it's a bit of a guessing game. And as the pattern matures, we start to get a bit of confidence. We can say, this is probably not the right one, so we'll put that to the side. This is such and such over here. And as it develops and develops, you get more confidence in it. So I think that's the process that we need to go through. It's not a matter of pointing out that, oh, Pete, you're wrong again, or you're right, you're all these sorts of things, or even to yourself, not to give yourself a hard time over this. That's the most important thing. So my suggestion is that we look at all the patterns and we just keep them in mind, and we just work through them. At the end of the day, it comes down to the trade setup. But don't give yourself a hard time if you can't work it out, because I'm not fully convinced that we've got this here as wave 3, an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then coming down for wave 5 here. There's just as good a chance as putting wave 5 in here with wave 1 here, because markets don't always bottom and top the way that you would expect them to. Sometimes they do, and it's spot on, it's all good, but most of the time they don't. So that chucks a spanner in the works. And the thing is that from that low to this high up here, that's 5 waves here. So that means that once that finishes, and we'll look at that, we could get an ABC back here and then another 5 up here. So this pattern over here becomes quite a reality, but it doesn't mean that we're going to the moon or anything of that nature, because we know that from a lot of the markets, we still need to make new lows in the market. So, okay, that said, let's go in and have a look at things. So we'll go into the tick chart. So starting with this tick chart here. This is 50k here, and so we've had wave 1, 2 and 3 here, an A and a B and wave C here, looking back to the 38.2% retracement level. So we could have a high in here right now, and we could make a move down into wave 5. That's highly possible at this point. We'll take a closer look at this situation, but that's basically it at the moment. So I think the NASDAQ needs to make a bit more of a high, so it's possible for this to push a bit higher. But yeah, so the thing about shorting this is, though, that we can't short it because we're not clear on the pattern. Like I said, this wave 4 here has overlapped this wave 1 in many cases. So we need to be careful about calling this a wave 4. That's my thing. We can look at it as down here for wave 1 here, and back for wave 2, but it still needs to come up a bit higher for that. That's possible. Yeah, and as I mentioned, we put wave 1 over here and call wave 5 in over here, and then we look at this in a slightly different way. We look at this as a move up here, then an ABC back here, and then another 5 waves up here, and then we come down from that point. So we'll keep talking about them all, and we'll keep cruising to the inside. So we've got 10 and 5 and 2, so we'll just keep checking these. So yeah, this is just a 10 tick here. So we're just looking at wave 3 here with an A and an ABC here, and then the C wave up through here. I can't remember if the NASDAQ actually took the high out. I did take the high out. I'll check it, see which ones are not taking the high out, because you can count 5 waves here. In fact, they could also be a little wave 4 with another little move in here to finish that off, but we'll get to that. We'll check on that. Let's just go through. I've got this is just 5k, so that's the same thing as well. I just keep different charts for different things, different template, different canvases, so to speak. Okay, so this one here, this is looking at it a little bit differently. This is just on the 2k. It's looking at wave 3 being in place here, squashing everything up a little bit further in all of this. And there's probably different ways you could do all of this, but looking at it like this, here as one way, and then looking at this as wave 5 to the downside. In this case, we would be looking at this. I think that needs to finish off up there, but I'm not quite sure. I'll double check on that. So we'd be looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to pull back to the 50-60%. It may not pull all the way back, and then a move to the upside here, up to the 4,000 somewhere, and then down from that point. So also too, the US dollar is in an interesting situation as well, because it's quite central, as I say, follow the money. So with the US dollar, we can look at this top here as wave 3 or wave 5. That I don't know at that point. I don't think the US dollar has topped out, because where the Fed's funds rates is, there's never been a sell-off on the dollar at that particular point in time. So the fundamentals for the dollar are still strong, and we know that the yields are pushing up higher as well. So they got further to go up. So the fundamental side of things appears that the US dollar is strong. So I'm trying to figure out from the top here, because if we've got wave 5 up the top here, then we'll have a bigger correction. But I'm thinking that we're just in some sort of A wave, B wave, and C wave. So this is really just doing the opposite of what the SP 500 is doing, you know. I can't count this down as 5 waves here. I can't go down as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I could, but this wave as wave 3 here is a little bit short. So there's a good chance that this could also be corrective. So basically, wave 1 here, this leg and this leg are about the same size in a roundabout way, but technically the wave 1's a tad shorter. So I'm just trying to figure it out in all of this. But yeah, well, I'll get there with this. But this is the other side to the other side to this whole correction here, basically. So yeah. So I think the US dollar's got to have an ABC correction, and I think this needs to have a decent ABC correction. I think that's kind of where we're at with it. I know that I know the whole thing up is corrective, because those other stocks like Amazon need to make new lows. It's as simple as that, really. So I think this is kind of a bit more to the truth of things. So, but still, I need to gather the evidence to prove that. And so we just need to be careful about shorting down here. I mean, shit, I could get it wrong, and we can kind of come down here further into this, you know, wave 1 here, as I mentioned before. But I think that something like this is about it, you know. Yeah, okay, we'll just move along. So we're going to go into the 1000 ticks and just see what I've got here. Okay, so yeah, this is the original count. In fact, this has got 2 counts on it, because we were looking at this yesterday in 2 different ways. So we're looking at it as wave 3 here, and then an A wave, an ABC here for the B wave, and then up for the C wave here. So yesterday we're up around wave, we're up in here somewhere anyway, and we're looking for it to top a little bit further. It's possible from this wave 4 down to wave 5 here to count it down in 5 waves, by the way, because I can count this down here as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave, an A and a B and a C for the 4th wave, and then down for the 5th wave here. That's why I've got that little 5 waves there. I mean, obviously I'll need to lift it up a degree of structure, but it is a bit short, but it's doable. You can squeeze it in there without too much, without really breaking any rules and, you know, bending the envelope too much. You know, it is doable, but if that is the case, then at least 5 waves from this low here. The other point here too is that we can have a top in here right now with this. It's possible to have another little top in here to have that finish off at that point, and then have the you know, well, if this is wave 4 here, well then, you know, we just basically come all the way down at that point. But I don't think that we're missing anything here, because even when we get this wave 5 here, it'll come into around 35, and then it's going to, you know, bounce back up for this wave 2 anyway. So we're not, it's this wave 2 that we really want to short to the downside, not so much this 5th wave that comes into here. So yeah, a bit sad, but yeah, just be a little bit mindful. The other point here too is that, as I mentioned yesterday, the wave 3 here has got the long the extension in it. So that makes wave 1 and wave 5, well, they say the same size, but as I mentioned yesterday, this is so small, and the time that wave 4 pulls back, this length here is not even going to take out the top here. So you've got to kind of use your common sense a little bit. So, but it's kind of a nice fit with this thing here. I mean, is it possible that this is all just wave 1 here, like wave 1 here, and pulled back for wave 2? Well, when it does pull back quite deeply, then it'll leave that top exposed. You can go long from that point, but that's a 38.2% retracement level for that wave C or 4 at that space. So we just need to see how that plays out. The next thing here is to also have a look at the 50-60%. So this is where the market can pull back to over the days sessions ahead, and then move up from that point. So we can come to this point in 3 waves, of course, and then push up here, which if that was going to be the case, then we, as I mentioned, we need to look at this as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave up here for this wave 2 that could take us a bit higher actually, but it will all be about that number at that point. So that's where we're at with it all, really, guys and girls and everything in between. Coming over to the NASDAQ is the same as well, so I won't bore you to death, but wave 3 with the A wave, the B wave, and then going up for the C wave here to wave 5, 38.2% retracement levels, a little bit higher up here. That's where that is at the moment. And the Russell's the same as well as wave 3 here. See, this is interesting here because the Russell hasn't made a new low here from this wave 3, so it really stabilizes the idea that this is an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming up here. I haven't counted the rest of that there, but yeah, oh, that's interesting too, because we haven't made a new high here yet, so we still need a new high for the Russell, unless we're going to put wave 5 in here already. But I did look at this a little bit, obviously, but it was a little bit tricky to count all of this, I have to say. I mean, I can see parts of this if we want to go over it. This will be the same for all of them. Well, actually, just let's just do the Dow, and then we'll go and have a look at the S&P. So the Dow's made a nice high here. We've got wave 3 here and made a low here. So an A and a B and a C for the low here. Can you look at that as 1 and 2, and then the third wave here, and then the fourth to here, and the fifth here, maybe. But 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave for here, 4. Everything's gone 38 point. Everything's gone according to plan. At this point here, we should be, you know, making a new low at this point. But all I'm saying is that we need to be careful of the 61.8% mark here, because we could go up again from that point. That would be the trap, you know. So just be careful about that. Just want to go back and have a look at, well, what I'll do is I won't go to the S&P, because sometimes the futures are a little bit hard to see on things. So let's go to the SPX. What's this, 2 minutes? Okay, so this is this trend up here at the moment. I think they've already made another high here, haven't they? So anyway, from here we can look at that as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and this makes a nice third wave here, so that belongs to that. So this is a little bit tricky here. This is one that sort of stumped me a little bit. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, put that aside. The next one is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I think that that's up for 5 here. So I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave. But the trouble with that is the correction's really small. It should be big. This correction should be bigger than this correction, but it's not. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I'm pretty sure that we might need to, it doesn't look right, but we might need to take it to here and try to get 5 waves up into here somewhere, which is a bit rough. I can't get 5 waves up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for that. Let me just double check that. Let me just That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 to that point. So that means that this one here is 1 and 2. So I can't go to there. Yes, I have to go to there because it just doesn't make sense. So what we'll have to do is go 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So okay, we can have that top in play there. I have to take that. This is the problem. This is what I can't figure out. That's the bit I don't know. Okay, the rest of it I'm very comfortable with, but I don't know that bit there. That's a problem. I mean, this could also be right. Okay, I see the other count here now. So this could also be from, if this is 1 and 2 and 3 here, this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So that can all go to that point. Let me just redo that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 to here. So that means that this would be the 38.2% retracement level for this, which is about right, really. So yeah, for this one here. So that means that that's 1, 2, sorry about this, just gave me a while to get going, 4, 5, so that would be it, yeah. Which is right, which is what we've been doing, isn't it? That's exactly right. So yeah, so that we can have a top in place there now. But the cash market, this cash market still needs to open up higher above here. So a bit more upside in the next session. So that means that what this could mean, it could mean that this, where we've got the top in here, that means that if the cash market needs to open higher, this move up here could be 1 and 2 here. That's the other trap here. Okay, so just be aware of that. I don't think it's the case though, because that's all they need to do is take out that top there. Anyway, the puzzle will be solved probably in about a session or two. Well, we'll still need this correction here, so probably take us 2 sessions. So Thursday, hopefully Friday, we can have some trades. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. Just want to check on the volume actually. Where's that? SPX here. Let's just see. I notice with TradingView they don't really connect all the volume until later, you know. So you just double check again as well. Because I noticed yesterday with this bar here, it was also on lower volume. Then I looked back a bit later and they had added some volume to it, you know. But the thing here is that as it stands at the moment, but check this out, this bar was up, was higher, but it was on lower volume than this one. So this move up is divergence, even though it made new highs. What about the ES? Can that do the same? Well, that's even lower volume. The whole thing's up on lower volume, which sort of helps it to be corrective at that point too. So we're not seeing increased volume to the upside, which tells me like all corrections are on lower volume. So this is lower volume, so it's got to be correct. I know that it's corrective. I just don't know how far the damn thing's going to go. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. Yeah, like I said, I don't have any answers for all of this, but as it unfolds further, we'll be able to, you know, bring it all together better and better. Alrighty, cheers.